The slap sounded like a gunshot under crystal chandeliers. 300 guests froze, flutes midair, smiles calcifying, watching a 64-year-old black waitress stumble back with a hand to her cheek. "You incompetent fool! You ruined my $50,000 dress!" The bride, Victoria, hissed into a live mic, blue eyes blazing, Italian silk dotted with champagne. In that room, white flowers from Holland, baccarat chandeliers, a five-tiered cake priced like a car, one woman stood steady, black uniform, gray hair pinned clean. Her name was Ruth. 40 years of service, 1,000 rooms like this. Never this. On the staircase, the groom watched. David Thompson, Armani tux, spine of steel. His eyes met Ruth's for a single second, and something shifted, because David knew what the room didn't. Ruth wasn't the help. She was the woman who found him, rain-soaked and ate on a Detroit sidewalk. She was the hands that worked 3 jobs, the voice that said, "Eat, sleep, try again." The only person he'd ever called mom. Victoria flicked a wrist. "Get her out of my sight." Her parents smiled like they'd witnessed order restored. Ruth gathered shards of crystal with trembling dignity, then slipped into the service kitchen. Ice on her cheek, breath measured, she'd survived worse. But David had seen enough. 22 years earlier, he was an orphan under a broken streetlight, gripping a plastic bag with a one-eyed bear. In a water-warped photo, Ruth knelt in scrubs, rain soaking her knees. "Hungry?" she asked. "I don't have money," he whispered. "I said hungry," she smiled. "Come on, hot chocolate." He never left. No lawyers, no paperwork, just a life stitched together by rides to school, shared shifts, secondhand coats, and a kitchen table that could hold algebra and grief in the same night. He promised her a big house. She wanted something harder. "Be a good man," she said. He learned to be excellent. And then, when the world met him, he stayed good. He met Victoria later, glossy, camera-ready, important clients in her phone. The first time she saw Ruth's small house and backyard tomatoes, she called it authentic, the way people do when they mean less. David didn't hear it then. Ruth did. Tonight, under gold light, the mask finally slid. David walked to the kitchen. Ruth sat on a plastic chair, still making sure leftover food was packed, because nothing goes to waste when you've known hunger. "Mom," he said softly, kneeling. "Son, don't make a scene. It's your day." "It was," he said. "Now it's something else." He kissed her forehead. "Go home. Rest. Don't turn on the TV." Ruth studied his eyes, the same look he had at 8 when he decided to keep going. "What are you going to do?" she asked. "What I should have done the first time I heard her talk down to someone," he said. "Tell the truth." He found his best friend and business partner, James. "Record this," David said. "Clean audio, clear shot." He pulled Victoria aside by a window, smile warm, voice calm. "About the incident, help me understand." "It was a stupid accident," she said. "She stained my dress. I reacted." "You slapped her." "So what? She's a clumsy waitress. People like that need to know their place." Something in David closed like a vault. "People like that," he repeated. "She was just an old black woman. Probably doesn't even speak English. I'm glad you get it. You've got class, not like those nouveau riche who defend riffraff." "Thank you for clarifying," David said. She beamed. "See? We understand each other." He did now. "Perfect," he said. "Back to the cake." 2 hours later, as dessert was plated, David stepped onto the band's riser. The room fell into a hush. "Thank you for making this day special," he began. Victoria glowed, expecting romance. "Before we end, I need to talk about family. Respect character." He held the room. Tonight, a 64-year-old woman, Mrs. Ruth Silva, was slapped for staining a dress. She's worked 40 years serving families. She is honest, she is gentle, and she was assaulted because someone thought just a waitress meant less human. Murmurs cracked across the marble. "What most of you don't know," David said, "is that Mrs. Silva is not the help. She's my mother." Silence. Then the sound of 300 people realizing they've been in the wrong story. She found me orphaned at 8, raised me, worked 3 jobs to pay for my education. Everything I am began with her. He lifted his phone to the PA click. Victoria's voice filled the hall. She was just an old black woman. Probably doesn't even speak English. People like that need to know their place. I love you because you have enough class not to mix with riffraff. Gas hands over mouths. Chairs scraping back. That's context, David said, in case anyone needed it. Victoria staggered forward. You can't do this. We're married. We're not, he said, pulling an envelope from his tux. Annulment for fraud, misrepresentation of character works both ways. Also, assault on a senior my mother has already filed. She's not your real mother, Victoria snapped, desperate. David's voice went gentle, lethal. She gave me more love in 20 years than you managed to fake in 2. Who do you think gets to be real? At the doorway, Ruth, who'd come back for a forgotten purse, hesitated. David extended an arm. Come meet her properly, he told the room. They walked together down the center aisle. Some guests lowered their eyes. Some reached out and said softly, Mrs. Silva, it's an honor. The wedding is off, David said. Security will escort the bride. Her belongings will be sent tomorrow. They led Victoria out under the light she wanted so badly. Phones raised, lenses unkind. Within an hour, the stream hit 3 million views. Contracts evaporated. The internet named it what it was. Bride slaps waitress, learns she's the groom's mom. 3 months later, the clip passed 50 million. The brands bailed. The Manhattan lease vanished into legal fees. She wore a name tag in a strip mall store and prayed not to be recognized. Life is good at ironic assignments. David's company soared. People like to partner with men who choose character in a room full of money. He did magazine covers he didn't frame, and Friday dinners at Ruth's that he always did. Fame fades, Ruth told him, spooning stew. Character remains. The judge gave Victoria community service and a heavy fine. Ruth volunteered to supervise the kitchen shifts. Kindness with spine cameras caught the moment. Victoria, hair tied back, serving soup to women Ruth's age. A picture that finally told the truth. You know what still gets me? David said, watching a clip later. She thinks it was about a dress, Ruth smiled. Some people need to lose everything to see they never had anything that mattered. A year later, David married a doctor he met at a charity clinic small ceremony. Backyard tomatoes. Ruth in a blue dress that matched the sky. Sometimes the best revenge is in public ruin. It's a quiet life done right, where love outranks status, where decency outranks spectacle, and where a 64-year-old woman who worked her whole life is treated like royalty because she always was. If this story hit home, you know the lesson. Those who sow disrespect reap loneliness. Those who cultivate gratitude reap a life that multiplies.